We're all keeping a very close eye on the plans ahead of the national shutdown this coming Monday. Police Minister Bheki Cele says there will be more boots on the ground. The EFF set to hold this mass shutdown to highlight various issues in our country that are crippling the entire economy. Well, the Minister and National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, were in KZN addressing readiness and taking a look at the troops ahead of this march. Lethiwe Mdluli is our reporter in the province, was tracking that, joining us now, of course, and let's speak to her and find out what it all looked like for this afternoon. So let's talk, first of all, Lethiwe, about the plans for Monday. We're hearing more boots, but I imagine you have more specifics.
Well, Gareth, the police minister was here a bit earlier on. He started in KwaMashu Township and then visited various areas that are deemed as hotspot areas across Durban. And we do believe that there's going to be over 18,000 police officers on the ground on Monday. This was shared by the Provincial Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi on Friday when they gave us a briefing saying that they'll have more hands on deck. But during the press briefing with the police minister a bit earlier on, he did share that they are more than ready for the shutdown, and he is basically telling the police to make sure that they protect residents and they protect businesses on Monday, because you'd remember that back in 2021 here in the province, there was the July unrest where we saw a lot of businesses looted and destroyed, and some people lost their lives during that time. And because of this, they are saying that there'll be more hands on deck because they don't want to have a repeat of what happened back in July 2021. He went to Phoenix as well because there's been a few threats that the police are saying that they're hearing from the ground in terms of attacks that might happen during the shutdown. And he also went to KwaMashu, and we believe now that he ended his visit in Umlazi. It's one of the hotspot areas as well. So he did all those visits and just basically engaging with residents and making sure that everyone or the businesses in those areas feel safe for Monday. You'd remember that in speaking to the residents across Durban, they did say that for them it will be business as usual, because we went to the western part of Durban on Thursday, just basically speaking to businesses and speaking to residents and people who would need to go to work on Monday. They did share that they will not be partaking, and a lot of businesses that we spoke to said they'll be open, but of course they are taking those precautionary measures when it comes to hiring private security, and they're hoping that they'll be seeing more police on the ground. But when we spoke about the police, or when we spoke to the police minister rather, about some of the plans that they have placed for Monday, this is what he had to say.
Your job is to say, as you march, nobody should interfere with you. But as you march, you don't interfere with the people that want to go to work. You don't interfere with the people that want to go to school, though I know that schools are closed. So when somebody says has managed to close the schools on Monday, will be lying, because anyway schools are closed. You don't interfere with those that they want to go to job. You don't interfere with those that they want to open their shops. Fortunately, all tax industries have said they will be operating on Monday. Those both national associations and local associations, as we've spoken to them to say they are operating, they are working. Therefore, anybody who stops those taxes, you make sure that those people don't do that thing. I want to repeat, we should be at the level of minimum or completely eradicated sort of violence and any form of people getting injured or getting hurt.
All right, so that's the plans for KZN, as you say, thousands and thousands of police boots on the ground, Lethiwe. But there's also this bizarre story that's come out, which we heard about today, that the National Police Commissioner, that being, of course, Fani Masemola, doesn't have the correct security clearance. How did this come about?
Well, Gareth, the minister is basically saying that it's not the police's job to give that security clearance, and it's a job for the Minister for Intelligence. And he is saying that he has instructed the minister to fast-track that process because there are fresh stories that are making headlines saying that the police, or the National Police Commissioner rather, has not received his clearance yet. And this is basically something that should have been done when he was first appointed, but unfortunately it still hasn't been done, and the police minister is saying that it's not the police's job to do so, and he's hoping that the Minister for Intelligence will fast-track this process. And he is saying that they've had meetings and they have met, and he's instructed them to fast-track this process. When we asked him about this a bit earlier on in KwaMashu, this is what he had to say.
Unfortunately, the National Commissioner cannot be cleared by the crime intelligence of the South African police. It's supposed to be cleared by the SSA. That's the first point. But all Director Generals in South Africa, as they are employed, they are given a space of time. There is a preliminary. And then you say, in this particular time, you'll have to bring your final certificate. Even this morning, I did speak to the Minister of Intelligence to say, can they please fast-track that certificate? Remember, he has been on the environment all the time. So even those that are not in the environment, they have given some time to go and get space to bring those. Some of them, if they're not in the police, it's done by crime intelligence of the police, but we can't do that. So I spoke to him, and he has spoken to DG to say, fast-track that. We expect that thing to happen within the time expected to happen. But it's a matter that is handled at that level.
We can expect a lot more from Lethiwe Mdluli and our team down in KZN as we all keep a close eye on KZN for this coming Monday as well. Lethiwe down in Durban for us. Thank you very much. eNCA reporter back with her again, no doubts, throughout this weekend and, of course, on Monday when the day itself is here. Now, when we come back,